What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. It is episode 164, and like we've talked about on social media, we are going to be talking all about our film deadlines.
Yes, so exciting. There's so much to talk about, too. There's so much just phenomenal freaking stuff. I can't wait to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be epic. I mean, we should give a little brief description before we get started. It's definitely a conversation starter, to say the least. I mean, if you guys watched our Kickstarter video, it deals a lot with mental health, gun violence, LGBTQ, bullying, so much different stuff that is happening in today's society that we want to tackle and to open up a conversation about, because that's what it's all about. That's our job as storytellers, is to start a conversation and to get people thinking, because I mean, people get in ruts. People just think normal things every single day, and I mean, it's nice to get outside the box a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, without doubt. And we've always said that our goal as filmmakers is to tell stories that matter.
Yeah.
Right? And this one definitely matters. And we're going to talk about that because I feel like, one of the best things about being on set when we were doing this thing is how it connected to the cast and the crew while we were filming it. And we knew that it did matter and that people were feeling it and connecting to it. And so, that was really exciting.
Agreed, man. Agreed. I mean, let's start off with development. I mean, this thing, we got really lucky. We really freaking did, because there's this awesome website where you can go and read people's scripts, and we found this one, and I mean, we changed a few things here or there, but we found this one, and we just really loved the bones of it. It really dealt with, like I said, a lot of things that are happening right now in today's society. And of course, I mean, just to bring a story like this to life means so much to so many people. Like you said, to the cast, the crew, especially the crew, dealing with a lot of similarities that the story deals with. So I think, in other words, it helps save some people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And we should give a shout out to James Brandon, who's the writer of the script. And you don't get very lucky all the time as filmmakers when you option somebody else's work to be able to have creative freedom, right?
Yeah.
Creative liberty to do what you want. And James was very open with that from the very beginning. He's like, take it, change it, modify, do whatever you want, as long as you don't really kind of mess up what I was trying to say and kind of thing. And so, like Logan said, we really did. This started off completely different from what it ended up. It was a male-female type thing, and then it's two females now, and it was more totalitarian, if you will, and it became more of a depression, mental health kind of a storyline, and just it was an amazing transformation from where it started to where we took it, right?
I agree, and he's been such an amazing sport, just giving him updates, and he loves everything that we give him. I mean, he's just he just really enjoys having his story come to life, because I feel like that's for any creator. Everybody just wants to see their vision, what their imagination came up with, to see it on the big screen or on the small screen, whichever, or that your platform that you're shooting for. But like I said, I mean, we just got super lucky, and we changed it to a girl and a girl because, I mean, of course, there's a lot of love and there's also a lot of hate right now against the LGBTQ community. So we wanted to shine a little bit of light on that. And then, of course, there's a lot of racial injustices going on as well.
That's right.
So we definitely wanted to shine a light on that. And so that is why we went with the type of people we went with. And I mean, we just honestly couldn't have gotten any luckier, because these two actors just knocked it out of the park, man.
Oh, yeah, without doubt. And like you said, diversity was key, right? Because it started off, male, female, white, right? But that's not life right now. That's not how things really are, right? So diversity was key. And like you said, the audition. So let's talk about the audition process a little bit, right? Because we were trying to do the audition process through the whole COVID stuff with Zoom, right? And it's kind of become the norm now. You do submit self-tapes, you do these Zoom auditions, and but it started off, we were looking for male and female, right? So we auditioned a bunch of phenomenally talented male actors.
Yeah.
All of them, like, we found 2 or 3 that we were just like, oh my gosh, these guys are nailing it. These guys are, and we had to let them know kindly, like, it had nothing to do with your performance. You guys were fantastic, but we're going in a different direction. We're changing it to a female. So to all the guys who auditioned, and to the 3 or 4 that we called back and like we're really interested in casting you, we promise you, we've got you set aside, and we're looking for you in the future. We promise. You guys did a phenomenal job, and definitely want to give a shout out to Jared Becker, because, buddy, you elevated so high in your audition and your live read that you set the bar for the women that came after you that had to try to like change that role, and so well done.
He did it so well that we were looking for people to play that same interpretation.
Right.
Because, I mean, he just knocked it out of the park. I mean, of course, after reading this thing, we have our own, like, interpretations on what things could be, what things shouldn't be. But, I mean, when he came in, hopped on the Zoom and freaking, like, just knocked it out of the park, like I said. So, I mean, he really set the tone for the film. So, I mean, we could not appreciate him enough for that. And, of course, he is also an executive producer on this thing because he was so kind to back us on Kickstarter. He is an amazing individual, so we appreciate him. Definitely have to work with him in the future.
Oh, without doubt.
Because he is like one of our biggest supporters right now. Like, he's epic.
And guys, follow him everywhere on social media. He's got a lot of short films out that you can watch, and he's working on another one right now. He's got his own crowdfunding campaign going on. Phenomenally talented young guy. But yeah, so the audition process was just, you find the people, right? They do their little self-tape, and then you're like, okay, that's kind of what we're looking for right there. But then you got to do the live audition, right? And then it doesn't stop there, because if you do the live audition and they're really great, but how awesome are they going to be with your other great person? Is there any chemistry? Are they going to read well together? Because sometimes you get 2 really great performances and then they just don't click together, and then it doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
So we had to go through this whole process of trying to find these 2 phenomenally talented young women that we got, right?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, let's be honest about it. We had a couple of different actors that, I mean, we thought were going to be our people, but then dates don't line up, schedules don't line up.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. That's what we talk about on the show every single week. People have to back out of projects because of scheduling conflicts. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. And literally, everything happens for a reason, because I am so freaking happy with who we ended up with.
I mean, seriously, look. Okay, Jessica Mia Polito and Kara Burns. Guys, they are like, the performances that they deliver in this film are going to blow you away. You are seriously going to be left speechless, right? The story is meant to start a conversation, but you're going to have to pick the jaw up off the ground first to start the conversation, because they literally, I was just blown. We knew they were good. We knew when they read together that we were going to get something special. But even we as directors had no idea when we got on set and we yelled action and they started bringing it, where they were going to get. They just elevated like unbelievable.
Completely agree. And then, I mean, before even we went into production, we were able to meet up with them in a little town just outside of our area and take a few behind the scenes pictures and get everything ready for the film and some pictures for the film. So, I mean, just the way they bonded, because we just kind of gave them a cell phone. It was like, here, go take some selfies, be a couple. Like, I mean, just the way they bonded, just the way they connected. And like, I don't know, it was just everything fell into place so perfectly. It was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, guys, when 2 people just meet and you tell them be a couple, and they have to act like they've been a couple and seriously in love with each other for like 4 years, and they literally met 4 minutes ago.
Yeah.
When you see this film and you see these pictures of the 2 of them together as this loving couple, you're going to be, even the people around town as we were doing it, they were like, they had no idea. They thought that's a couple. Oh, look how cute they are. Look how much in love they are and everything. Had just met.
Yeah, literally.
That speaks to the volume of talent that these 2 ladies bring to this project. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was really epic. It really was. And then before we even went into pre-production stage, we were already interviewing crew, trying to get people on board. And I'm pretty sure the first one we got on board was our storyboard artist, Guthrie Worthington,
Yep.
who is out in Los Angeles right now, who absolutely killed it, man. He is also an actor, but does storyboards on the side. You know, you got to pay the bills somehow. You got to pay the bills. But I mean, he took what we saw in our heads, what him and I had discussed, and just put it down. We finally started to see our film come to life. We started to see the characters moving. We started to see reactions. We started to get a little crazy and experimental with our shots that even he was like, listen, I'm just saying, I'm just letting you know you might not be able to get this, in which we really respected that. We needed someone because we're very ambitious people. I mean, we're always shooting for the stars. And this is our first ever film together. So, I mean, you know, we're trying things. We're trying to go for these different things, try to make it look all cinematic. But I mean, just the way he basically helped us and guided us through this process as we guided him through our process of what we were seeing the film to be. So, I mean, he was just a phenomenal guy and just knocked the storyboards out of the park.
Yeah, in fact, so much so that we went back and changed, you know, a lot of the script based on the new stuff that we came up with shot wise.
Yeah.
Right, because the process was so good and so effective that we're like, oh well, we can change this and we can do this. So now we got to go back and rewrite that part of the script, and so that's one of the big things too. I think that from development all the way through, and now we're in post, right? And we'll talk about that a little bit. But the collaboration and the collaborative effort on everybody's part to bring in what they know and to share that knowledge and kind of work together to get the best possible film out of this, right? That's one of the most amazing things about this whole experience was how collaborative everybody was.
Yeah. And I mean, let's talk about it. When we got onto set and got everybody on board, everybody had a voice. We made sure of that. That's the kind of directors we are, and that's the kind of directors we aspire to be. Everybody has a voice. If you see somebody in the shot, get them out of the fucking shot. If you like see continuity errors, please let us know, because we are all going towards the best possible content. We want to make a great freaking film. So that's what it's all about. And I mean, just everybody's voice was heard. Down to the PA. I mean, she was absolutely amazing. Towards the end, she started picking up the slate and like writing down the shot and the scene, and like it was just absolutely amazing. So I mean, let's go down the list. Start with our first assistant director, Jason Cachabata, who is also our podcast producer. You guys know him. You love him. He's been on previous shows before. He just was awesome. He was a great energy to have on set. He brought some realism to life because he had that experience. He's been on multiple sets before, so we needed somebody like that to kind of be at the top of the food chain to guide us through everything that we were doing.
Hey guys, for anybody who doesn't know, like the first AD basically has to be an asshole.
Basically.
Like this guy or woman, in this case a guy with Jason, but they have to be like, you're falling behind schedule. You're not getting this. You're not getting that. You need to pick it up. You need to change this. You need to do, and that's their job, is to like keep the train on the tracks, right? To keep it on schedule, to keep it on budget. And so you need somebody that's not scared to like, hey, come on, let's go. And Jason did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
I know we frustrated the shit out of him for the early morning of the first day of shooting. He was getting really mad, which was his job. He was supposed to get really mad and tell us, get it the fuck together. It's already 2 hours in. We've got 2 shots. And but it worked out really well. I think that he collaborated with our unit production manager,
Delaney.
Yeah. So, and that's how they click, right? These two need to work together in unison with the schedule and the shot list, and to make sure that everything that we're supposed to get shot on the day that it's supposed to get shot gets done. And so that's what they did, right? So let's talk about Delaney a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, this guy also has lots of experience. He's worked with freaking like CNN news outlets. He's been out in Los Angeles. He's been in New York, but he's originally from Charlotte, North Carolina. And this kid is just absolutely amazing. Like, he just knocked it out of the park as well. Him and Jason did work hand in hand very well, and he was on it. He had some great sound effects for the second day. Great siren sound effects. aspects.
That's
So,
right.
I
That's
mean, we
right.
really appreciate him for that. But, I mean, he brought some really realistic and positive energy to the set that I think a lot of us needed, and a lot of stories and experience to the set that a lot of us needed. Because, I mean, with us doing all this, with it being our first time directing, we're so tunnel visioned on so many things, but some things just kind of slip through the sides. But that's why we have Jason and Delaney. They are there to make sure we hold that shit all together. And they just did a phenomenal job working together.
Yeah, they kind of basically morphed into like one person.
They did.
Like you right, the first AD and the UPM, they were interchangeable, and they kind of just like they flip flop sometimes, each other's roles, and just. But it was an amazing team, and the reason that we actually came in, we finished shooting early.
Yeah.
And we came in under budget. And the reason that both those things happened are because of those two guys making sure that we stayed on schedule and we stayed on budget and we got it all done. So kudos to Delaney and Jason. You guys were phenomenal.
Agreed, man. Agreed. It was absolute pleasure to work with both of them. Of course, you guys know we have worked with Jason on multiple different things before, but to bring somebody new in and to mix up the chemistry a little bit for the better, I mean, it was just phenomenal, honestly.
Yeah, and so I want to just say this, because Logan had worked really hard to like initially find the crew members, right? And then we both interviewed them and we both kind of agreed on who there was going to be, or the kind of thing. But even though they all kind of, clicked with us, right? After we interviewed them and everything, we knew, yeah, these guys are they're just like us. They're going to be you never know how they're going to interact together, right? So, and I've been telling everybody this because I just think it's so important, and it set the tone from the very first second on that first day, right? We get there. It's 5 a.m. Call time, right? Everybody's rolling up. Everybody's pulling in. Everybody's getting out of the cars, right? Keep in mind, nobody has met each other yet. Nobody's have officially said, hey, I'm such and such. Hi, I'm good. Okay, so what do? They all get out of their vehicles. They all immediately walk to the production van, start grabbing gear and heading up the stairs. You knew right then and there this was a serious crew with a mission to get this job done and to tell this story. They could do introductions on the way up the stairs. They could do pleasantries after they grab some coffee after it's all set up. They were there for a job. They were there to work together and get it done. And so you knew just right away this was the crew. So, like, huge props to Logan for finding all of them and just the way they clicked together, the way they worked in unison. You'd have swore they had been a crew together on multiple films for a decade or more. It was unbelievable.
I know, it really was. And I mean, the goal is to find a home crew, basically, where we can travel with these people from project to project. And if the schedules all line up and things work out the way we want them to, this will definitely be the home crew, because just like he said, everybody was so in line, so connected, so in sync that it was amazing. You would have thought these people have been working together for like a decade or some shit.
I mean, seriously.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, now jumping over to Brian Wright, our director of photography. Man, there's not enough words we could say about Brian.
No.
Because, I mean, we were very ambitious. Like I said before, we're very ambitious people. We want to try to be as creative as possible. We are the new age of Hollywood.
That's right.
We are trying to create some new shit that nobody has ever seen before. And with his experience and with his knowledge about the entertainment industry and cameras and lighting and all this different stuff, he was able to bring it to life, basically.
Yeah, I mean, look, as directors, you have a vision, right? And then you work with your storyboard artist and you draw this vision. And then reality hits it and goes, can you execute that vision? Can we visually execute that vision? And with Brian, the answer was yes, we can.
Do it, yeah.
But we might not be able to do it this way. We can do it this way. And so, again, the collaborative effort comes in. And Brian says, I can totally do your vision, but we're not going to be able to do it this way. We're going to have to shoot it this way with the same effect that what you're trying to do. So at no point does he change the vision, but the visual changes to get to the point, right? And then the ambition. And this goes kudos to both of our actors too, because they were phenomenally, like, there's this one shot where we were just like, no, we want it overhead and it's going to be like this and it's going to be amazing and everything. And then we get there and we just realize Probably not going to happen, right? We're on this like skinny bed. It's like particle board. It barely holds the weight of like the blankets, let alone people, right? Then you put the camera gear on it and all this kind of stuff. So we're thinking not going to happen, not going to happen. So Brian he builds this platform. He gets it all ready. He gets it up on the sticks, and he's got a shot that's very close to the vision that we had in mind, right, with the storyboards or whatever. And we get it, and it looks great. Logan and I both get up there. We look through the camera. We see the shots that he's got, and we're happy. Everybody's happy. And he's like, no, but you wanted it directly overhead. And I'm like, yeah, but no, everything's good. And Logan's like, no, everything's good. I'm like, but that's what you wanted. I want to try it. Let's do it. And so then our actress, with like no hesitation, let's do it. Let's get him over me. Let's do this, kind of do it. And it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was that type of collaboration of not wanting to fail on the vision and bringing that skill set and I don't know, the boldness and the creativity to make our shots happen was just unbelievable. And Brian led that whole effort. Like, he just inspired people to bring it.
Agreed. I mean, he had a solution for everything, like literally.
Yeah.
And I mean, when he was able to like rig this thing up when it was not on sticks and he had it on his shoulder, the thing was at least 60 to 75 pounds.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was really pulling that shit through, which is insane. Like, I can't believe that he was willing to do that with us. But I mean, he just knocked it out of the park, like I said, and he gave us all those solutions to our ambition, basically. If it was too much, he gave us the solution to make it better, to make it, here it is instead of this, but we're still in your head, in your vision, we're still making the story come to life. So I thought that was absolutely amazing. And it really helped as well that he had directed his own projects before. Mm-hmm. So he already knew. He's edited his own projects before. So he already knew we need as many shots as possible so the editor can play with as much files as possible, because it is very important that you have a lot of things to play with, because once you get in that editing room, there's rarely a time where you can go back and shoot it again. So we got to make sure that we have something to cut to. We have to make sure we have a specific shot with specific emotion that gets portrayed in this film. And like I said, even with us being behind and still taking that extra time to get those extra shots, we still wrapped early on the first day. Like, it was insane.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. And it's just, you know, most of the time when you get into post, your editor hates you because there's nothing there to work with. You didn't get this, or you didn't get that, or he's only got this shot, and our editor is going to hate us because they have too much to go It's like every shot's a great shot. Every shot's the money shot. So they're going to hate us for all the different reasons, but all good reasons, right? It's like, what do I leave on the cutting room floor? Because I don't want to put anything. I don't want to cut anything out of this thing. And that's a great problem to have. But hey, Brian didn't do it alone, right? So one thing that we really loved about Brian is that he did bring that wealth of experience and that wealth of knowledge, and he likes to pass that along, right? So we have this phenomenal first AC, right? First assistant camera, who's first time on set, had never done this before, but always wanted to. Brian was right there to kind of like guide him, teach him, and let's talk about Robert a little bit. Just fearless. When the director of photography says, get behind the B cam and shoot, you got to step up. And Robert stepped up, right?
He did. He really did. And he wasn't afraid to say things either, which I thought was absolutely amazing. With it being his first time ever on set, he was just always like, oh, I see a shadow right there. I see this. I see somebody in the mirror. Like, there's a whole bunch of things that he was able to speak up about that not a lot of people do their first time on set. So he was an absolute joy to have on. I even heard the second day when we were breaking for lunch, or it was one of our breaks, I heard him like get on FaceTime with somebody, and he's talking about his day, and he was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing for the day. And I mean, just the utter joy and experience he got to learn while on set, like from one of the best teachers, Brian. So I mean, I just feel like it was an epic first experience for him, and for me, it's going to be hard to live up to that experience going on to other sets.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, that's That's what you want, right? You want to be on a set where it's open and it's a learning environment, right? You don't want to show up and just do your job and you're isolated in your little corner and it's like this is what you got. I mean, it's all about experience. It's all about growth. And to have a crew that's able to do that and able to share that experience and help other people grow into areas that they want to do, I mean, that's what it's all about for us as filmmakers, right?
Yeah.
It's all about, first and foremost, tell your story, right? Execute your vision. But by far, the second most important thing is to expand the knowledge and share the wealth of what you have to others to bring them and let them move and grow and do the same for others afterwards. And I think we did that really well.
I agree. And also, like, we had some amazing people come from outside of North Carolina. A lot of people came from came from Atlanta to come up to Charlotte to help us create our vision. And our sound engineer and our boom operator both did that, which is absolutely insane. A 4-hour trip. I mean, the traffic was awful because we also made that trip to Atlanta to go pick up a prop from Atlanta. And I mean, them making it on time, them being there ready to go on set every single day. And I mean, them just being able to mix and fall in line with the crew and gel so well was absolutely amazing. And also because the sound engineer was Chris, who was there the first day but couldn't be there the second day because he had another gig. He made sure to stay with Ken, who was the boom operator, late after the first day and show him what equipment does what. So he made sure that we got the best possible product on the second day just because he wasn't going to be there. So, I mean, these guys, their dedication to the craft was just absolutely amazing. They have their own film and television production company as well, Off the Rails Productions, that's down in Atlanta. They're just rocking and rolling right now. Ken's shooting a feature film, a faith-based feature film right now that it looks amazing. We're following along now, and we're making all these connections from this short film, and we're following along. And so, I mean, their future is so bright as well, and we're just fortunate enough that we got to know these people because, like I said, everybody just was so damn cool.
Oh, I mean, absolutely amazing. Like I said, we're not doing a silent film.
No.
So sound was of epic importance, and they nailed it. You know, I mean, these guys did a phenomenal job, and sometimes we should say that, right? This entire crew and the talent, guys. We were in like this old college dorm building, right? Yeah. And it's 100+ degrees inside. No air conditioner, sometimes extreme conditions. And these people in tight quarters in this like obsessive heat were just absolutely incredible. Like, didn't want to cut, didn't want to take breaks, didn't want to, let's just get it. And just the dedication to do what they did and to pull it off the way they did it was just, under those conditions, was just insane.
Yeah, I mean, we made sure to feed them all 3 meals, and a lot of them didn't eat breakfast. They just had coffee because everybody was so gung-ho to get on set to freaking get it to roll and get it on, like, action. Like, it was crazy. Like, the ambition that every single one of them had, and the joy, the pure happiness they were to just be on set after COVID and after all these crazy things that had happened this past year. Everybody was just absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, us included. Like it was like easily the best on-set experience I've ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, everybody was as professional as you could possibly be, was efficient in doing their job and skilled and talented, but then also fun. They understand that this is fun. What we get to do and play and make magic and tell stories, it's fun.
It is.
You know, so you got to be professional. You got to do your job. You got to make sure everything's efficient and on time and on budget. But don't forget to have fun, and these people never forgot to have fun. There's so many great behind-the-scenes photos that we've been sharing and will continue to share with these huge smiles on the people's faces or these laughs, right? Because it's really intense content, guys. It's a really dark, disturbing story. And so the importance of knowing when to crack a joke and keep it light and bring it back a little bit, right? Loosen the levity a little bit. That was huge in making sure that this thing went off without a hitch. And I think everybody did that extremely well. And everybody did that. At some point, everybody knew, I got to say something here. I got to crack a joke here, right? Because you could just sense when it was needed. And everybody just was amazing at being able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, there's so many stories that we could share on set. I mean, there's so many freaking stories. Well, I mean, before we head on to the next three people, first one is that we're shooting all of our outside scenes first, right? Because we don't know the campus's agenda. We don't know if they have summer camps going on.
Right.
So we want to make sure to get all of our outside scenes shot, ready to go, done, so that we don't interfere with anything else that's going on campus. So, freaking, when we come back inside after the outside shots are done, literally after I just finished talking to the admissions assistant that we've been corresponding back and forth with, telling her, oh yeah, everything's been great, security's been great, like the dorm rooms are great, like we basically had the whole floor to ourselves, which thank you is amazing. Walk in, there's a fucking leak coming down in the common area of the ground floor, and it's a big leak too. There's water everywhere. We're already behind schedule because we're getting the outside shots, and like this just was crazy, pushed me past the edge. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? Dustin, go upstairs, just do it. I'll take care of this. I'll try to clean this up. He's like, no, we gotta just clean this up. But we did have an amazing mother of a crew member, our makeup artist's mom, who is officially a part of the crew. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
She's a part of the crew. She's definitely getting an associate producer title. Miss Amy, she came down, basically took care of all of it, went out to the security guard, told her about everything, and I mean, she was basically the mom of the set. She took care of everybody. If anybody needed anything, she got you.
Yeah.
Like, she had coffee running the second morning, like, she kept it running, like, she started picking up the camera, because she's also a photographer, and started taking pictures, and she was just an absolute joy, and, like, the diamond hidden in the rough that we weren't expecting.
Problem solver.
Literally.
Problem solver. Because she understood that we're on a time schedule, we're on a budget, and the directors can't have time to pick up some paper towels and clean up some water, especially water that they're not responsible for, right? She did. She's like, you guys do what you got to do. I got this. Yeah. And she did. She handled that shit. It was like it never even happened. Like, it was amazing. And then, like you said, she was making sure coffee was done. She was making sure food was prepped. She was making sure like stuff was moved out of the way. And it was amazing how she just took control. And every time there seemed to be something that popped up, she handled it. She took care of it. Was she asked to do that? No. She just stepped up and did that, and was happy to do it. That's the thing, right? Like, she was like, I don't care. I'm here. Let me do something. And that's amazing. To have people step up and do that is just, it's a phenomenal thing to see. Again, just really blessed to have Amy on there. And you know, that you could tell that type person and that type philosophy of how to approach things went well over into her daughter, our makeup artist, Sarah,
for sure.
Right? She had that same work ethic, that same philosophy that I got to do this, I have to do that, and very professional, but very fun and very nurturing. And so Amy's done a phenomenal job with her. And we can talk about Sarah a little bit. Unfortunately,
teeny tiny bit.
We can't talk about anything that she really did because it would give away the entire context of the surprise of the film. And so we can't do any of that. But what an amazing young woman Sarah was,
so
right?
So freaking talented. Like, a couple of weeks before, she entered in an FXX makeup contest and got second place. This girl is 17 years old, and she's already talking with people out in LA, trying to get that connection ball rolling. Like, she's going to go so far, and with it, whatever she does, she's also a welder, so she could kick both of our asses. Like, she is just an amazing individual, and I mean, I only see the stars and above for her. Man.
Oh, yeah, and worked really well with the talent.
Yeah,
like the camaraderie back and forth with her and the talent, and because that's not always an easy thing, right? I mean, especially when under heat conditions and like I said, the extreme conditions, to have to sit there and consistently powder somebody or consistently make sure they're not glowing for the camera, and they just had a really good rapport. There was a lot of laughter and communication and talking back and forth between all of them, and again. 15, you would swear that she had been in the industry for 20 years and had been like doing this her whole life already, and she's like 15.
She's 17.
17. Okay, 17.
She doesn't remember things that happened 2 seconds ago. It's fine.
But like even still, it's phenomenal that young, right? That you have to try to like fathom that she was that capable and that like it's an amazing thing to watch.
It really is. It really is. She's honestly blessed with a God-given talent, and like I said, she's going to go really far in the entertainment industry if that's what she wants to pursue, because like she can do anything basically. If you go follow her on Instagram, like her skills are absolutely out of this world. Like if Star Wars lovers, you'll see some stuff. You'll see some like Darth Maul, like all that good shit, man. I mean, it's so good. It's so good. And then last but not least, our production assistant, who is absolutely amazing, a go-getter. She's an actress herself, but she was like, "Hey, I want to learn anything and everything that happens on set. So I'm going to come on your guys' set and be a PA." And she drove from Atlanta to be a PA. Like, she was absolutely killing it. Riley Ryan, I mean, she's awesome. Go look her up on IMDb. She's been on a couple of Grey's Anatomy episodes, been on the Grey set a lot, worked with Debbie Allen. Like, she's a badass. I'm just going to say, I told her that too. I was like, I'm just going to say, I'm really freaking jealous of you. I mean, you might have got to work with my man crush. She was like, no, I've only worked with Amelia. I was like, oh, but still, I mean,
Right.
It's still pretty badass. But like I said, Riley Ryan, she just knocked it out of the park. Literally, every time we needed something, she was there. Like, she started off with taking pictures. She started grabbing the slate, got us food. Like, she was just basically anything we needed, she was there. We thought we might have had to get a different light, like a different actual light in the room, so it would make the film feel more natural instead of like having backlighting the whole time. But she was ready to go. It was like 20 minutes away, Target or Walmart or wherever she was going to go. And she was like, all right, I'm out the door. But then we were like, no, we found this other one. It's fine. But I mean, like I said, she just rocked it. She just kept singing the high praises, which made me feel so freaking good. She was like, you guys, you couldn't tell that this was your first ever film set, especially for me. I mean, I kept saying how much I appreciated that, because I just wanted to make sure I showed up, did the job well, made sure everybody had a good time, make sure everybody was comfortable, and we got what we came there to get. And we did. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, as directors and producers, right? Because we produced and directed this thing, and so when you're on set and you're hearing the things that your crew and your actors are saying about you, and you're hearing things like the most efficient set they've ever worked on or the most professional set that they've ever worked on, it's the best they've ever been treated as talent or as crew, things like that, right? So as a producer, you can't get better praise than that, right? You just feel like you've done your job as a producer. If everybody feels comfortable, everything is happening efficiently, everything's working effectively, you've done your job as a producer, and that's like high praise. But then directors, right? It's about the storytelling, it's about the vision, it's about, do they get what you're trying to say? And we heard that, like geniuses at work or visionaries or the compelling storytelling with the shots. And so like when you start hearing that and you realize that these people, this group of people that, you've brought together to try, they get it. They get what you're trying to say. They get what you're trying to do with the story. So to get the praise all the way around like we were able to get, especially like Logan said, as our first time directing, as first-time directors and as a team together doing that, to be able to get that feedback is just huge, right? Could have we done things better? Sure we could. Did we learn some things? Absolutely. That's what it's all about, right? But to get that feedback and that critique the way that we did, it was just such an overwhelming feeling of gratitude and appreciation towards them and because if it was an effective set, if it was a great performance, if it was all these things that we heard, right, it was because of them. It's because what do they always say? Surround yourself with the right people and then get out of the way and let them do their jobs. They did their jobs, so it made our job easy.
Yeah, what I thought was really cool is him and I spent months and months and months just going over the script, looking at it with a fine-tooth comb, picking out every detail that we wanted. But what I thought was really and truly amazing is when we got on set, these 12 to 15 people, they were all talking about the script. They were all preaching our vision. I thought that was just absolutely amazing and something else that could just never be replaced in my heart because it was just such an amazing feeling to have everybody share the same vision in the same room with the amount of people that we had. I just thought that was absolutely amazing. So, I mean, it was a long time coming. Everybody knows that we've had multiple other projects that have not gone through just because of creative differences and things like that. But to have people who saw our vision and saw what we were trying to accomplish and what we got accomplished and them also have a good time and learn something from it, it was just the most amazing feeling in the world.
Absolutely. And guys, like we said when we set out to do this, right, we want to tell stories that matter, that will have an impact on people and that will start conversations, right? And I don't want to say too much because these are personal stories and we don't want to give away people's personal stories, but we can share with you that before this thing is even seen, we made an impact. We started a conversation. We helped people go through some stuff that they've been dealing with, and to know that what we set out to do with this project, we've done before anybody even sees it is like, it's worth everything that we went through, every struggle that we went through, all the time, all the effort, everything, to know that you can make a difference in people's lives with what you're trying to do. And we did that is worth more than any money, any awards, any kind of, that's the one thing I'm taking away from this whole thing is that before this thing is ever seen, we've already accomplished the goal of what we wanted to do. Start a conversation, make an impact, change lives.
Agreed, man. I absolutely agree. I mean, it's been an amazing time, and now we're in post. We've already got a composer. I mean, Antonio Lepera, he's been on the show before. You guys know him from America 2.0. We were fortunate enough to bring him on board, and he's already sent us some samples with different instruments and a whole bunch of different things. I mean, I'm just so freaking excited. I mean, it's a process, man. It absolutely is. And I mean, we're looking for an editor/graphic designer, but we have meetings set up for this upcoming week that we're feeling very good about. So, I mean, life is just really freaking good, guys. I'm truly happy to be aboard this crazy train.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And we cannot wait for y'all to see this film. Like, seriously, we really feel like this film is going to make an impact, and you guys are going to be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That didn't see that coming, but you know, it's one of those that will leave you talking for sure. And listen, we kind of hinted at it about, you know, with Jared and stuff, but we want to thank a lot of people because a lot of people made this possible. And we wouldn't have been able to make this film without them. So we want to make sure we give a shout out to everybody that helped make this film possible. So let's do that. Let's just kind of roll through it, right?
Of course.
We mentioned Jared Becker, right? We want to mention all of our producers and executive producers here. Meaning, guys, the money people.
Yeah.
The guys and gals that contributed funds to make sure that this thing happened, to make sure there was food for everybody, make sure that COVID regulations were followed and everybody was safe, to make sure the locations and the gear and all that kind of stuff. These people made that happen, and without them, there would be no film. So, all right, here we go.
Agreed. Like we said, Jared Becker was absolutely amazing. We got Polly Bergman, an amazing individual, and Dustin's mom.
Hi, Mom.
Emily Bergman, who's also an amazing individual. We love her. She's great.
Hi, daughter.
Caroline Carowin, she is an amazing individual as well. We got Rachel Dean. Everybody sees us interacting with her on social media.
Oh, my God,
She's like one of our number one fans.
Oh, yeah, has been there since the beginning pretty much. She's fantastic.
Yeah. We got Ralph Donatelli, who is just an amazing individual who helped supported our dreams. We got Angelo Garcio, who helped provide us with food and some more funds for the film. So, I mean, he is just absolutely amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, seriously. Connie Hanna, who is my mother, who
and
is
an
great.
Unbelievably cool person and awesome person.
She is. We got Chris Harwadell, who was just amazing backer. Alicia Minshew. Yes, that's right, that Alicia Minshew. We got Brett C. Pearson, Nikki Smith and Riley Smith. You guys know we're really close with them. They're just amazing individuals. We cannot wait to work with them one day, hopefully soon. I mean, they have been by our side for so freaking long, so we can't thank them enough for literally anything and everything the past couple of years.
Oh, I mean, like, without doubt, have gotten us through some tough times and been there to support us and have just been unwavering in that support. And thank you guys so much. Like, we can't wait to work with you guys again in the future, and just amazing.
Agreed. And last but not least, Sully Walker, who is also another one of our backers from Kickstarter. Like we said, none of this would have been possible without any of those individuals or without any of our cast and crew. They were just absolutely amazing. They helped us through so many things. They brought so many emotions out of us. I mean, you were right. You were absolutely right. There's no other feeling like it than being on set. So I'm so thrilled to have gone through this process, especially with my mentor, my best friend. So this was just an absolute pleasure, and many more to come, man.
Oh my gosh, like I can't even begin to tell you what an experience it was. Real quick, special shout out to David Bush, Edward Payson, and Kate Wallingnut also for donating. You guys you guys are awesome too. You rock. And Kate, follow her. Kate Ignorance Bliss on Twitter. She's fantastic. Been a supporter also. And I echo your sentiment. Like, I can't imagine doing this with anybody else, honestly. I think that there's a reason that it finally happened, and it's because of this teamwork, because of this collaboration, because of this friendship. And I don't want to do it with anybody else. I think Crazy Ant is set for the foreseeable future, and we're gonna do huge things together. And I'm so glad that your first experience was the way that it was,
right,
and that it was as epic as it was, and for making my best on-set experience, because I've been on a lot of them and I've gone through a lot of stuff, and this, like I said earlier, by far, hands down, the best on-set experience I've ever had. And that's because of being able to work with you and because of being able to work with the crew that we worked with and just, I don't know. I mean, topping it is going to be tough.
It is.
But we will, because that's what we have to do, right? You have to keep growing. You have to keep going. But yeah, I'm just kind of really emotional. And it's, like you said, a long time coming in the journey to get to where we got. But I wouldn't change anything. I think that all the struggles, all the stuff that we've gone through since we started this whole thing 4 years ago, it's all worth it. Everything happens for a reason. We went through everything we had to go through for a reason to get to where we are and to be able to tell this story that we told and to have this film. And I wouldn't change anything. I think it's perfect exactly the way it is.
Agreed, man. Agreed. And you guys know there's going to be plenty of other updates on our website and on our social media platforms at Crazy Ant Media. Be sure to follow, and at ITCAFpodcast, follow the podcast. Next week is back to regular scheduled programming, so be prepared for that. We're still trying to figure out whether if it's going to be a Friday show or a Saturday show, and that might be the same for the foreseeable future. So just stay posted with that. We will let you know all over social media. And you guys know you can...
We're balancing.
Exactly. You guys know you can head over to our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where there's new merchandise out right now, some Pride gear, so be sure to get it while you can, while supplies last. And, of course, you can follow us both personally on social media, myself at JLoFantastic and
Crazy Ant Guy 1970.
Yes, man.
And of course, follow Jessica Mia and Carrie Blackburn and Jared Becker and just like
all those
everybody.
people.
Go to IMDb Pro. You know the Bible. We love it. He showers with it. Look up all of our crew people, all of these fantastic, amazingly wonderful, talented, awesome people, and follow all of them. Just follow all of them.
Do it, man. Do it. And I mean, you know who the next backer is going to be for our next film.
I mean, it seems like it should be,
fucking
right?
huge.
Oprah!